No one who remains passive or static about his circumstances will ever get out of it. My name is Odroli Mojibola and I am your shoemaking made easy tutor. Today we're going to be looking at why most times when you finish bottoming your footwear, it does not hold it perfectly well. What are the things you should put in place to be able to achieve a neat cementing or bottoming system? Sit back and I'm gonna be right back. All right, I'm sure you have seen this. So the first thing we are actually going to be doing is trying to arrange our, of course, cycles. I have already done a tutorial on how to cut this pattern, so I wouldn't be going into that now. So just for the sake of those of us who are totally beginners and you're trying to learn how to position, that is the reason for this particular tutorial. So if you think you have outgrown this, feel free not to watch to the end. But if you know that there is no way I'm going to publish a video and you will not have one or two things to learn, then sit with me and let's go right into this. So the first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be starting from it. You can see the arrangement. You're going to be putting this in here, but it's going to be passing under this one. You're going to pass under this one. It will pass under this one and then come out. As it is coming out, this is going to be going this way. So I'm going to go this way. I'm sure you can see that. Then after that, I'm going to put it in right here, then into this particular one. Just follow me. And of course, you need to arrange this well. It's supposed to stay this way. This is going to come out from here, and you are going to be having a very beautiful, circled like slippers. It's actually a ring toe design, and I can tell you it's so loving, and it's also quite simple. I am actually showing us this because I know you wouldn't be needing any stitch to create this. You don't need to stitch anything. So I need you to check the video on this. If you would love me to actually share the link with you, just let me know in the comment section, or I'll give you an instruction on what to do before the end of the video so that that will be taken care of. So this is what I have. Then I'm also going to be using this and then this. So, and for those of us who might have not seen this, we also create this on this channel. I taught us how to create this. If you haven't seen it, oh, it means you have been running in and out of this channel. So basically this is what we need: a long strap, a tiny one, a short one, and 3 round shapes like this. All right, the next thing we're going to be doing is take our measurements as usual. We have 3.5 on this side. We use 3.5 on this side, and we use 5 on this other side. So it seems to be accurate. Yeah. So this is 5 and this is 3.5. So many people have asked me, is this applicable to everyone? Yes, it's applicable to every adult footwear as far as I'm concerned. Now you can increase or reduce, but it's applicable. That's just the average measurement. This side will be 3.5, this side will be 4.5. You can increase it in case the person has a wider toe, like make it 6, a wider toe, maybe this one can be like 4, but please don't let it means you have to work on your insole too, which means it has to be a bit wider so that the overage of the fall will not be too much, looking at the footwear on the leg, on the foot of the person. Then this part, for those who have a longer toe, you can increase it to about 6. If you're increasing this to 6 or 5.5, it will definitely be affecting the length of your footwear. Yes, if the person's length is 25, for example, and you decide to take away like 6 from here, it will automatically reduce the available space for the feet of the person here. So anytime you're actually creating a footwear, that's why I always say examine the foot of who you're creating for. Be sure whether they have a long toe or a wide toe, and then you know all of that, so that at the end of the day when you measure your 5, some people's feet, if you measure 5, it will be on the floor. Yeah, yes, if you measure 5 for them here to be on the floor, so you definitely have to be very careful, you know, with that. But on the average, this works perfectly well for both men and women. Yes, I can say it categorically, it works, because I've used it severally. I'm just going to go ahead, punch, then open the part I'm going to be using for the ring toe. All right, now that I have punched this part, I'm going to place this way, and we are going to proceed from there. I'm also going to punch again, because that is absolutely where my strap is going to be inserted into. So I'll use a utility knife to open it. I've done this severally, but for the sake of those who might have not seen this, that's why I'm trying to repeat it, and I will not allow it to be too open. So place this in there. So this is going to be here. I'm going to use my shoe last. You can use your foot or the foot of whoever you are actually creating for. So it's supposed to go in right here. I think I brought out too much. I'll just bring it in a bit, then it will go this way. So please ensure that you have enough, you know, to go by the side, and you have enough to also do this. So this is what we have. Don't forget, all of this crease has to be out of it. We are not going to be leaving it, you know, that way. So this is what I'm going to be having. And if you want it to be inside, you can also decide to open it and keep it inside. If it's going to be inside, then it means that your measurement should be about 1 centimeter away from the edge. I have had a lot of questions about this. Anytime you want to punch, place your ruler right there. Then this particular point here, yes, that's what you should use if you're going to put it, you know, right inside. So it's just to punch it and place. I'm sure you have seen that. Just let me do that for the sake of those of us who might want to do that. Now I will explain, you know, something to us right here. I know under normal circumstances somebody will be expecting that it should be inside here. I'm intending to actually stitch this, you understand, so I will not be putting it right in it. So please, I want you to note that. That is one. Then number 2, if you place this way, I want you to know there are some things that we really need to understand. If you place it this way, there are tendencies that by the time you bottom, this side will be opening. It will not close perfectly well because of this thickness. You know that this thickness here will not allow, you know, the outer sole to lay very flat on top of it. As a result of that, it's better for you to either put it right in to avoid that, or as at the time you were actually creating the insole, note where you are going to put your ring toe. Like even at this point, you can decide to open if you want to. Like I'll just open this part. Like open this part. I am doing this for us to see. Is for the sake of those who are actually asking me a lot of questions, and I need you to know that there are a lot of people who are actually making this tutorial available for us all. So I would like to appreciate everyone who is part of this community, who is contributing in their own little way to support what we do, so that everyone can benefit. So let's say I'm going to be actually, since it's on this side, all I'm going to do, I'm doing this for us to see. I keep repeating it. You know, I punched the inside, so it doesn't really matter, so that you know that I always go a long way in making sure that you get the best on this channel. So if you haven't subscribed, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. Make sure that you always watch our videos. Please comment and like. It's always very important, so that at least YouTube will actually find it valuable, and then we'll be able to suggest it to more people, and it will help a lot more people. Now I have my insole cardboard here. of course I have my EVA foam there. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm just going to cut through, like I want to just cut out the insole cardboard. Please just follow me. I'm doing this for our sake. On the normal circumstances, I will not punch and at the same time start opening again, but just for you to see that there are a lot of things you must put into consideration if you're going to produce a very neat job in your shoemaking business. Because some of us just think that neatness just come. It doesn't just come. Neat job doesn't just come. You have to be very intentional about it. So when I return this back, if I put it here, it will be definitely inside that space. So invariably, when I place my outer sole, it's flat on top of it. It's not having any bridge, like when you understand, it's not having any bridge like when it's on top of this one. When it's in right here, it slots in perfectly well. You understand? So when you want to create, somebody will be like, are you sure? Will I be able to do a lot of this? If you want a neat job, then you should be ready to do what it takes. However, you can decide to actually punch like I just punched, and then go ahead and punch like this, open it and put it right inside. But there are some designs you can't do that. Yes, there are some designs you can't do that. For example, you are creating a heel. You cannot be opening the insole of your heel to actually slot in because you don't want to have a bulgy part at the back. No, you still have to definitely do this. So I just want us to know that this is actually important. It has to be the size of whatever. If the strap is wider than this, it has to be the width. You understand? So that by the time you slot it in, I just want you to really see it. When you slot it in, it fits in so well that they will not even know that there is anything there. So it's by the time you place your outer, so it's totally flat and it's looking so perfectly well. Now, if you don't want to go through all of this route, another option another option is for you to place it like this, even without having to cut. Place this way. Then you have to make sure you bevel it, and in the process of beveling, if you are not careful, especially if you are using a synthetic leather, which by the time you bevel it, it can entirely bevel off your whole leather. Yes, if it's not a thick one. You understand? So you can bevel it using if you have a beveler, if you can use a filing machine, you can skive a part of it, probably skive the inner part, but I find that skiving doesn't work effectively well with synthetic leathers. Yes, it works more with genuine leathers because it's like it has some layers that can easily go off while still retaining a substantial one that still has the strength to carry the foot. So you need to really be very careful when you are doing this. Like I said, this is an intentional video, and if you got to see this, I encourage you to please share with people in your community, especially if you have people around you who are also just learning like you are learning. I think it's not good enough for me to know and not share, and it's not also good for me to know and share with you, and you are actually holding the information from some other people in a bid to stand out and be better than them. If I was going to do that, you wouldn't be seeing me explaining all of this. You understand? And these are the important things that I share in my classes. I have my paid classes as well. I can decide to keep it with them and not share here. So please, I encourage you to please share this video and also join our community, be a part of people who are actually making shoemaking easy for others. And I believe so strongly, there is no way you will sow and you will not reap. Yes, there is no way you will sow and you will not reap. In Jibbyfemforte, we are not takers. We don't just take, we give. You understand? So if you are part of us, then be rest assured that you are opening yourself up to blessing in an abundant way. So I just want us to understand that, so that somebody will not think she's just all about what she's going to get. I wish it's about that. All right, so you can see what I have. If I see that it's too small, and now the funniest thing is that I can't say, oh, I'm not using it again, and I'm not using it again. It will show by the time you finally when you place your outer, so it will show that there is one space here. Can you see it? It will show. So it's not something you want to say, of course, I don't want to use again. It means you're going to start all over again. You don't want to even make mistake, except you want to fill it back. Except you want to stylishly fill it back like I'm doing now. Fill it back and return it. Can you see that nobody will sit down? Those are the options you have. You understand what I'm trying to say? Now, because I've punched this part, I will try and return it back there. Let me see if I can just use my glue to just hold it back there. You understand? So let me just try and use it to hold it down there, so that at least I can return this. So I will just apply my gum, my adhesive there, and then fix it back, because I have already done this. You understand? All right, at this point I have already inserted. I've opened it and inserted it. You can see I've returned it. It's still looking a bit bulgy. Please don't do this kind of thing. If you are making for your customer, you need to be very careful. Some people are actually like, they look into every nooks and crannies of what you make for them. Not everybody, but I have some special like that they want to be sure you are doing the right thing. So they'll be like, oh, why is this one bulging out? And then it won't be funny for you to be telling them you are using them to do trial and error. This is not for a customer. I won't be giving this to a customer. And if anybody walks into my store and say, oh, saw me doing it, and like, I love this, oh, and this one, I said, oh, you can see I'm using it for tutorial. If you don't mind, I have actually used it to do experiments. If the person doesn't mind, why not? Is it not for the person to just go with it? At least they are aware. You understand? So that's just it. Everybody wants you to be, to have integrity. That's where I'm going. So make sure you are doing the right thing. After that, you see I've inserted the strap at the middle. It also goes in between. It's still like, this is the tongue, this is the ring toe. So for those who may not know, so you can use that to judge where this should stop. If you like, you can move it forward. There's no problem with that one. You understand? Like this one, if you want it to go backward, if I want it to go this way, it can go, but you want to also consider that it's laying properly well. It should not come too much. You understand? So that it doesn't start affecting this part of the person's foot. So at this point, I'm also going to mark where I want this to be. I'm going to mark like this. Come to this side and mark. Then also check if what I mark is appropriate. So let me try to bring it in for us to see. I did this here and I did this here. Now I need you to look at this. Everything is wrong with this. Everything is wrong with this. Now this is the right side. On a normal circumstances, let me place my ruler. Can you see the way it's bent? Can you see? So there is no reason for this one to be out and this should be in, except that is your design. Please don't position like that. Don't position like that. Never position like that. So I'm going to say that what I'm going to do now is appropriate this and let it balance with this one. Since I have pulled enough, you understand, so I'm sure this can still go up more, you understand, than me trying to bring this down, because it might be difficult for you to pull this one down. It may not be looking perfectly well, again, you understand. So instead of trying to say you want to pull the outer part of your foot out, make sure it is the inner part you appropriate to be at the same spot with it. Yes, this is perfect for you if you are creating any kind of strappy design that hangs, on this part. So I'm going to try and see. So I'm going to just clean this one off. This is a silver pen for those who might be wondering what I'm using. I'm still not totally comfortable with it. So I don't want a situation where it will be out. You understand? So they are supposed to be at the same spot, or this can be a bit downwards, like outward, about 1 millimeter. Yes, that's about 0.1 centimeter. So let's measure again 1 centimeter from the edge. Can you see? This is my edge. This is 1 centimeter from here to here is 1 centimeter. So this is where I punch. I'm going to come to this side and do the same thing. So from here to here is still 1. This is where I'm going to punch. So you can use this kind of round hole punch, and then if you have access to a punch plier, you can also use it. Please, there is nothing that says it must be this one. So please, I don't want us boxing ourselves and say, if I don't have this one, I am not going to do it. No, there's nothing like that. So place it on top of it upwards. We are not placing downward. I started from where it stopped, so don't make the mistake of placing, downward. So I love to use under because I want it to be always fitting perfectly well. So this is also going to be here. I'll cover it and make sure that I pick the upper part. So I'm just going to punch and open again. Yes, I'm sure you can see what this finally looks like. So I'm just going to remove all of this. Yes, I'm removing it. I'm placing on the second foot, on the second footbed, which is also called the insole, and I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. And of course, that is basically what I want to show us today. Like I said, if you haven't liked this video, you are very wrong. Yes, you're very wrong for staying with me this far and not liking the video. Thank you once again for joining me today. Of course, if I am able to, I will show you how I finally finish it. And if not, I hope you can now finish. At least this will give it a very good finish after I already grinded, reduce all the what do they call it, the crease, and then I cut my outer, as in I place my outer sole and then bottom effectively well. I pray if there's chance, like I promised, I'm not promising that I'm going to show us the finishing but I'll try as much as I can to actually see if I can do that, so that you can also see what it's going to finally look like and my approach to actually bottoming it. I'm still your shoemaking made easy tutor. Don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to like, join the community, and be a reason why somebody, creativity is being ignited. Be the reason why somebody is actually living again by actually, building new stream of income and being able to reduce their family expenses of footwear. Thank you once again, and I'm gonna see you next time. Bye.